Hi everyone, Bandanner here, and a very warm welcome to the October monthly WARNO tournament from SD League. Yes, finally another monthly WARNO tournament, a reasonable patch to play in, and a lot of players, a lot of returning players, a lot of new players. Razman is in this tournament, that's right, Razman of Wargame Red Dragon fame has finally taken a little detour to play in a tournament for WARNO. Going to really enjoy casting his games. He is definitely looking forward to that. Today we are with Propaganda and Heckler for a couple of games. They are in the freshman side of the tournament, and we also have the veteran side as well. There's a lot of players in both. There's going to be a lot of games to cover. There's no way I'm going to cover them all. Protoss won't be able to cover them all. It's going to be a mishmash of everybody getting involved. So please do keep an eye out on SD League's channel as well, because Protoss will definitely be casting some of the games. Now, there is also a 2v2 tournament for War Yes this month, which I will remind everybody about, as I will try and cast a couple of those games as well when I find time. So, on to today's game. Propaganda over on the right in red playing as the 39th Infantry, and over on the left in blue playing as the Berlin Command we have Heckler. Let's have a little look at what everyone's got down. Propaganda. Lots of recon. Let's grab it all. Pretty good spread. We've got some defensive sort of recon positioning here. Pretty standard there. Getting a couple up quite far there. And some in the church, which is great because it has a better line of sight. Basically, you can see over the other buildings. Obviously, units in that building are at risk because they can be shot easier as well. At the back here, we have a Cub, a Command, and an Igla, all heading up here. The Command will go to Papa first to cap that 2-pointer. Over here, we've got a couple of Iglas and a 30mm grenade launcher heading in here. Again, very defensive positioning. Generally, that's what you see. The person at this side pushes Oscar, takes Lima, and then kind of hovers in front of Zulu. Now, I'm noticing some interesting positioning of units over this side. Nothing is at the bottom of this point, and only that Command is sort of in the middle. So let's have a look. We've got a couple of Foxes here, 3 in total, all heading right down the centre here. That could cause problems for those Razvedka if they're not spotted, but the Mi-24K may see them as it comes past. That should be going faster than the Foxes. Back here we've got a Command which is going up to X-ray, interestingly, not going over to Alpha. And then we've got a load of units here. Nothing's going to the bottom point. Everything is going to Oscar. This is a really unusual opening for Heckler here. It might pay off. I've just never really seen anyone completely ignore Zulu before. And indeed Alpha. So this might really depend. If Propaganda realizes what's going on and pushes Zulu and Alpha with the units he's got here. As long as he's got transports, he can move the infantry along to Alpha as well. And capping that is a nice 2-pointer. But down here, what do we actually have in for Heckler? So he's got a couple of mortars in there. He's got some AMX-13s, a CEV, an M1IP, a couple of light rifles Law, an engineer's flash. Pivads, always a good choice against those early choppers. Some more Spag units there. A Humvee tow, a command tank, another Pivads, and some supply. Okay, we're off, so I'm going to get us into a nice position to watch this top bit, to be honest. Because I think this is where, early game, the fight is going to be. MiG-23 coming in at the back there for Propaganda as well. Possibly just to watch out for any choppers or any other aircraft that might come in to kill his Mi-24K. Completely turned myself upside down now, but I kind of want to keep an eye on that bottom point. Just to see if Propaganda does push beyond his defensive positioning. MiG-23 taking fire already from all of those Spag units. Takes a bit of damage. Obviously very panicked. Will evac. And my 24K has spotted those Foxes. Now for me, Heckler is getting into this point because he has a lot of units coming in there. Mi-24K is going to do some damage in the meantime though. Smoke going down from those Foxes. Razvedka and Mort Razvedka coming in with a BMP-1 there. Mi-24K hitting the Berlin light rifles and flash as they come in. Now Mi-24K is getting hit pretty hard now by those spags. And more are arriving and engaging on it. It's not faring well there. Engineers flash straight into the town. Now, they're not going to do a huge amount of damage by themselves necessarily. My concern would be other units firing in against that building. There you go, Abrams firing from the back. Those little AMX-13s firing in as well, and now the AMX-30 as well. I mean, that's the thing with these tall buildings. They can see everything else, but everything else can see them as well. Command is in the point, though, for Propaganda. Will be contested by the AMX-30. Another chopper coming in here. Now, that seems risky with the amount of spag that is on offer for Heckler right now. I notice in the background that Heckler is bringing in a couple of Hueys with some machine gunners heading towards that bottom point. He's left that bottom point unattended, and Propaganda has realized, look at Propaganda go. Propaganda has come a long way in the last couple of months since he very first started playing. He was not an aggressive player, but look at how aggressive he's being there. Straight in, no messing about. Fantastic to see that improvement. It's one of the things I love about the freshman side of this tournament is you always get to see this massive improvement over such a short period of time from these players. Okay, command is in. Still +2 to Propaganda. There is a command coming in at the top right-hand corner there for Heckler now. I don't know if that's going over to the back point. He still hasn't capped his 2-pointer. He's kind of just ignoring it. I think he's forgotten about it at this stage. There is another command coming in. Oh, that's the command that went to the back point. Now heading towards the bottom point. The AMX-30B is in a bad position. I see Propaganda calling in some tanks now to support what's happening at this end of the map. The other end, he seems to have overwhelming force up there. The machine guns, they're alright, but they're just not that good, I'm afraid. He's simply going to get overwhelmed by the incredibly larger force that Propaganda has. And realistically, he's got like 5-6 units down there. But versus 2 machine gunners, he has overwhelming force. Both of those commands appear to be going straight for that point as well, which I'm surprised he hasn't gone for that back point with the Berlin Light Rifles leader. A little bit of skirmishing here between a 30mm grenade launcher and a machine gun. Neither of them faring very well here in terms of damage output. They're just kind of poking at each other. I actually think the machine gun might win that in the end. I think the support of that T-80 might end that, though. So counter cap down there, but still +2 to Propaganda because Propaganda has that back point, whereas Heckler just hasn't capped it. A Nighthawk coming in there, and I see another Mi-24 anti-air coming in the bottom there for Propaganda. Nighthawk, obviously, potential to do a lot of damage. No real significant AA down there for Propaganda at the moment. Do see a MiG-23 coming in, going for it now, though. We'll get some shots off, but I don't think... Yeah, it's gone straight over those spags. Nighthawk coming back in for another pass. Tanks arriving over here now. Those T-62s coming in, laying down some fire on those Berlin Light Rifles. I feel like right now, in terms of units and map control, it's certainly in Propaganda's favour. He's currently +3 again. Pivad's down at the bottom there, ripping that Mi-24V apart. Unfortunately, the chopper's not been that beneficial long-term for Propaganda this game. That Nighthawk is still on the map, flying around over there. Mortars coming in on this position here, trying to hunt for a CV, I think. It feels right now like Propaganda has more on the map. Oh! Cub gets a beautiful hit. Unfortunately, goes down to one of those laser-guided bombs. That is just really unfortunate. Looks like Propaganda's struggling a little bit more at that bottom point now. Those Foxes managing to do a bit of damage. Another Mi-24V coming in there. Rocket attack this time. That feels a bit risky, considering he knows there's a pivot there. Good use of this mortar to harass, or both these mortars, to harass Propaganda's units at the back there. Rocket attack coming in at the bottom point there. Not sure what it's going for. I think it's going for the chopper. Doesn't manage to get the kill and takes quite a bit of damage itself. Again, not a lot of AA down there for Propaganda, so easy enough for Heckler to be bringing in these aircraft at the moment. Still no cap of that back point for Heckler. That MX-30 has been repaired here. Nighthawks coming in along with a seed. There isn't actually any radar AA there at the moment. There goes the bombs in on that command. Propaganda needs some way to deal with that Nighthawk. I'm not sure what else he's got in his deck in terms of air superiority fighters. But Heckler certainly in control of this point at the moment, but those tanks slowly pushing around the back there, I feel like they're going to cause massive issues for getting any reinforcements into this point. More reinforcements arriving at that bottom point again for Propaganda. Those Motostrelki coming in there. Not really any reinforcements going in there for Heckler. I'm a little bit worried that Heckler has switched into buying lots of aircraft rather than ground units. And long term, generally that's not a good way to win a game. It's not sustainable, especially if Propaganda manages to get a decent air defense net up while having the ground units to support that. There's a Cub coming in over there. A couple of mortars coming in here and some supply. Indeed, those tanks have managed to do some serious clearing up. There they go, killing that command in there as well. Rocket attack coming in, I assume, for these tanks. Significant amount of damage dealt there to T-62 and a kill of a T-80. There's the MiG-23 coming in. Does not manage to get the kill on the Harrier, though. Might swing around and get another chance. Not quite, unfortunately. But the Harrier will be out of action for quite a while. T-62's pulling back now. Propaganda looking in firm control at the bottom. There's still no cap of that back point. I honestly don't think Heckler realizes it's there. Could be his first time playing on the map, of course. Propaganda doing a good job bringing in reinforcements at both bottom and top of the map at the moment. Not forgetting about one side. Always good to see that. Some Sapri coming in here. MTLBs used as fire support from outside. I hear a jet coming in. MiG-23 going for that chopper. Nice kill. The Nighthawk is on the move again, and a Harrier anti-air. MiG-23 gets a missile off, but misses the Harrier. Where is that laser-guided bomber going? Just hanging around the back at the moment. Harrier going toe-to-toe with the MiG. MiG does more damage. Is being evac'd now. Harrier also being evac'd. I'm waiting to see if that Nighthawk comes in for something. No command in here for Propaganda at the moment. I imagine we'll be seeing one sooner rather than later. Let's have a little look. No, we got a Cub coming in, I think, there. Or is that just two Strelas? No, it's a Cub and a Strela. And some Razvedka. MiG-23 in again, trying to scare off that Nighthawk. It is engaging. Nice hit and gets the kill. Beautiful. One Nighthawk less to worry about. Looking good for Propaganda right now. Another Harrier GR3 anti-air coming in there. That's another purchase because the other one was quite badly damaged that just went out. Down here, looking pretty solid for Propaganda. There's that Cub spitting out some missiles now. No replacement ammo though. When you got a Cub, you've got to have some ammo next to it. One of those supply trucks, as they run out so quickly. M62's pushing up again at this point to cut off any reinforcements coming in the back there. There are some Humvees with Berlin light rifles on the way. Propaganda with a nice big lead on those points right now. Here comes the Seed. That Cub that's out of missiles, probably in a good position right now because it can't be hit by that Seed. Eagler's having a good go at it. I hear another jet coming in at this side. Su-27's in play, going for the Engineer's Flash in the Hueys. Where are those Engineer's Flash going? I assume they were going for an insertion on the rear of the points here. Propaganda very slowly clearing up that point there. Those Engineers Flash, I think, trying to get into that back point there. MiG-23 finishes the job, though. Mi-24V rocket attack manages to clear out the infantry in this town, finally. It's been a rough game for those choppers. Very good use of Spag by Heckler in this game. Very, very good use. I'm feeling like Heckler is going to have a very hard time pulling this back now. Still no command to retake this point from Propaganda, though, surprisingly. But there's the surrender. Commiserations, Heckler. Well played there, Propaganda. Heckler, very good attempt at taking one side of the map at the start there. Unfortunately, Propaganda just managed to counter that very effectively by pushing the other side. And because you didn't, I think you didn't realize that point was at the back of the map. I think that was caught you out a bit there and just allowed Propaganda to get a lot of extra points through that game. Good game though, either way, for a starter. Let's head straight into game number 2. Welcome back everyone to game number 2 with Heckler and Propaganda. Heckler over on the right in blue playing as the 11th Armoured Cavalry Regiment, and over on the left in red we have Propaganda playing as the Berlin Command this time. Let's have a look at what they both have down. I quite like Chemical, but I know it's not everyone's cup of tea. We've got an M1A1 ACAV and a Bradley recon vehicle, both heading up here right into the front of that point. We have an anti-air chopper also heading over that way, sort of following along with the units on the road. We have a command which is heading up to this point and then over to the center. And then here we have some Abrams, Pivads, there's an Abrams command in there, some Marder Milans with some Panzer Grenadiers, all heading up to this point. Very aggressive push on Delta here by Heckler. Not a bad choice. We've seen it done before. If you can pull it off, it does work very well, as long as you can stop reinforcements coming in there. Over at the other side, Propaganda with some recon heading into these two positions here. We've got some Javelin LMLs heading into the center to cover for any choppers or aircraft early on. Got a command heading up to the back point here. Then going into... Oh! Interesting. I wondered if he was going to go to the center with that, but no, he's going to attempt to go straight around the back and cap Alpha. Sneaky, sneaky. I like it. Here we have a Mistral, Javelin LML ×2, a Milan 2, 2 Rover Milans and a command heading into here. Very defensive positioning. The command will head into here and then across to the center. This is an interesting outlay. So very defensive compared to very aggressive. Will these Milans be enough to stop those tanks that are going to roll in to Delta? Neither player sending a huge amount to the center there. That's very unusual. We actually have quite a few units down here. I don't think... Yeah, there's some more recon stuff being put down here that doesn't yet have commands. There we go. We've got some recon heading up there now instead. I assume some of this is surely going to go to the center as well. Surely some of those commands will go to the center. I see a vehicle being redirected after it's dropped off its infantry in that building. Very careful planning with the commands there from Propaganda. So, chemical. 2 big fighting points of this map. Obviously this forest down here, which can turn into a massive meat grinder. And then over in the center of the map we have this very built up chemical plant. This is a really fun area to fight in my opinion, because there's lots of angles, and if you position vehicles and tanks and other such units very carefully in behind the buildings, you can get some really good shots and angles covering the entrances and exits to the command zone itself. And you'll see that done by some of the top players. They'll very carefully position tanks behind those big containers. It always makes for a very exciting game. At the same time, I know that, for example, Lathans isn't a big fan of this map. And I know it's not everybody's cup of tea. But I always think it ends up with some very good fights. Have we got some more commands gone down here? Yes, we now have a recon unit going all the way into Charlie now as well. No real change to anything else. There's some scouts being put down over here as well now, which are going to head into that side of the point, and we are off. I mean, realistically, the fight is going to be at the front of Delta, and I think that is going to decide how the game pans out from there. We do have a Harrier GR3 anti-air coming in there. We'll likely be looking for any early choppers. Obviously, we'll only be going up against a anti-air chopper at the back there. Not ideal for the Harrier. Already being evac'd there, having seen nothing. I don't think there's going to be a big fight over that center point right now. PSSEB getting really far up front there. Aero rifles being called in right in the middle of this point. That's quite ballsy. The problem for the PSSE is they only have 4 anti-tank missiles here, and they're on their own. And there's going to be a lot of vehicles coming down this road. Interestingly, Heckler has immediately backed off with those recon units already. Bradley's taking shots at the transports, but that's about it. Yeah, Heckler rethinking that push and has actually backed off. This is very good for Propaganda right now. Very, very good. He has enough anti-air there likely to deal with those Black Hawks and the aero rifles if they're still going into the middle of the point. I think, though, he's redirecting them. Yeah, he's sent them over towards the middle instead now, look. Okay. Here comes that Harrier in again to take those out. There's also a Javelin on the ground there. One down. Counter command has gone in the other side, but it's on its own in the middle there. Interesting maneuver here from Heckler, spreading his units out a bit more. That could be to the benefit of those Milans, though, because they're going to be further away, which will give the Milans the advantage. One squad of aero rifles does manage to get dropped off in the middle there. Pivad's taking shots at the Harrier, but the Harrier should get out fine. Propaganda being reasonably aggressive in the middle here. His command still pushing around the top of the map there, albeit very slowly. He should be able to cap that back point. Not a lot happening here at the moment. Looks like it's kicking off here, though. Unfortunately, the PSSE already out of missiles for the AT4 by the looks of it, so can't deal with the ACAV. Another M1A1 coming in at the back there, and a Recon Humvee, and another Recon Bradley coming in as well. Unfortunately, with Heckler stalling that push, it will give Propaganda time to potentially reinforce this point. I do see various units coming in there. Some Foxes and some Ardens, but they could easily be going to... Oh no, they are actually going this way. I thought they might go at the center. Nice slow progress in the middle there from Propaganda. Obviously, at the moment, there's nothing defending that command. Ooh, loss of a supply there to one of those Bradleys. Tow missiles. I think we're in a position where we'll start to see Heckler bringing in some units for the middle as well. He's pushing those Panzergrenadier Marders around the bottom there, just to get around the edge of the point. Abrams command tank gets the kill. Does give it away its position though. Milan 2 back here firing. That's actually quite a sizable force coming in there from Heckler now. He has a good chance of progressing here as long as he plays it well. Those tanks also doing a good job at picking off stuff across the river. Laser guided bomber coming in. F-16 this time. What's it going for? That Bradley might catch that command vehicle. Oh, nice. F-16 kills the command vehicle at the back in the center. Nighthawk coming in now, though. Gets a hit on the Abrams, but doesn't get the kill. Couple of Hell Arms coming in now. Do need to worry about those Pivads. Oh, the Bradley doesn't quite catch the Rover. Does kill it before it caps the point completely, though. But has neutralized it. Currently +1 to Heckler because he does control the center of the map. No command coming in as yet for Propaganda to recap that point. Another couple of choppers being called in here to try and defend. Hell Arms doing a reasonably good job here, but those Pivads are going to cause issues. There are 2 of them there now. M1A1 in the center there, pushing right up on those infantry. Hell Arms taking a lot of fire. They need to get out of there. Abrams looking a bit rough in the middle finally. Has managed to take quite a lot of punishment though and dish some out. Both of those Hell Arms go down to the Pivads. Some Gazelle rockets coming in here. Harrier going across, trying to kill that supply, I think. but taking a lot of stress damage from the Pivads there. There's also a Thunderbolt in at the back now, which will cause lots of issues. These Gazelles are going to get absolutely minced by those Pivads. They don't have a lot of health, the Gazelles. Thunderbolt goes down to the Harrier GR3 though. Oof, 2 Gazelle rockets managing to sort of get out of there. Blackhawk with arrow rifles heading towards the center there, consolidating that control. Command finally coming back in over that side for Propaganda. Needs to be careful about where it goes though. Let's have a quick look. He's getting it into the center there, but it's going to be in open ground when it gets there. We've got some arrow rifles being called in for the back of that point. More arrow rifles being dropped in behind. Good strategy here from Heckler. If he can cut off the reinforcements, it'll cause Propaganda a lot of issues. And Heckler still making a move on this point. I hear a jet coming in. Is this another Nighthawk? Indeed it is. Nighthawk coming in. Probably going for that command tank. I was going to say it's going to drop. Nice kill. Good use of laser guided bombs by both players here. A little bit worried about that rover in the middle there. Is a bit out in the open. See a Bradley immediately charging for where it might be, I think. Rover trying to run away. Arrow rifles probably being redirected to drop on top of it. Heckler has lost most of his pushing force at the bottom here, though. Well defended by Propaganda. Currently +5 to Propaganda, as the back point hasn't been recapped by Heckler at the moment. Once again, Heckler coming a little bit unstuck by those back points being left alone. Nighthawk coming in for the center now. Oh, veering off. Looking for a kill on that Abrams, perhaps. Should get it. Yes, it does. Harrier laying down some fire on the Blackhawks. Nighthawk takes quite a bit of damage there, but will get out intact. Mostly lots of skirmishing between the buildings down here at the moment. Don't think there's any command coming in. There is a command at the very back there, which I assume will go to that back point first for Heckler and then come to the center. Of course, the command has been killed once again in the center for Propaganda. There's got a bomber coming in for Heckler again. Dropping on that building. Doesn't seem to do a huge amount. Yeah, that command is going to go straight for that back point finally. But look at this. Aggressive push at the bottom there in the forest area by Propaganda. Managed to get the Foxes across. Moving his infantry towards where all those vehicles are. Can he get a command down that main road and take that point is the next question. He's got a couple of AMX-30s heading into the center there. Another AMX-30B coming in at the moment along with a Raden. No commands as yet. I could see him rushing a command into that back point there. Sounds like Nighthawk coming in again. Back point capped for Heckler. Bunch of Cobras coming in now. Nighthawk firing at the Pivads. Yes, nice kill. There is still an Eyehawk in play now, though. Rifles heading for that center point to reinforce and hopefully deal with the arrow rifles. That M1A1 ACAV doing a fantastic job across the river there, just picking stuff off. AMX-30 obviously not standing much of a chance against it in the grand scheme of things. Oof. Yeah, that's going to hurt. Rifles have arrived, but are being engaged by that Cobra. In comes another jet. Harrier anti-air going for the Cobra. There is an anti-air chopper in play again, though. And the Eyehawk. Eyehawk gets the kill. Eyehawk, of course, doing 9 damage. Harriers now only having 8 health points, means they are an instant kill to an Eyehawk. F-16 Laser got a bomber in again at the back there. Looks at the moment like things have switched around quite a lot, with Heckler having more seemingly in the center of the map, but Propaganda having more at the bottom. Still waiting for a command to come in for Propaganda, though. I genuinely thought he would have brought in a command of some description to take that bottom point where his Foxes are, as he knows it's reasonably secure to get down that road. Our rifles being dropped off at the back here. Good attempt at controlling the back of the map throughout this game by Heckler. Obviously, if you can cut off your enemy's reinforcement roads, it really does pay off. He still hasn't got his command back in this center point, though. He is finally calling in a command tank, but Propaganda obviously out in the lead significantly with points again this game. It's not the be-all and end-all. It's very easy sometimes to let the opponent get a head start in points and then pull it back towards the end. Nighthawk coming in here. Possibly going for a kill on infantry, or possibly the Bradley. Unsure here. It's dropped on the Bradley, I believe. Nice kill. One less thing to worry about. Nighthawk coming in as well. There is a command tank coming in for Propaganda now. I assume that will be going to that bottom point. Where is the Nighthawk going? Surely dropping on the ACAV. Beautiful strike. ACAV finally down. That has been a massive nuisance for Propaganda this game. Very well positioned by Heckler. Arrow rifles doing a very good job this game, the arrow rifles. Managing to do some serious damage, using the range to their advantage. Command on the move at the back there. Where is it off to is the question. Is it just coming to the middle? Or is it trying to go... Nope, just coming to the middle. I thought it might try and go all the way around the back. AMX-30 is in the middle here. Pushing up now. Being a little bit more aggressive. But, of course, those arrow rifles can do some serious damage with their anti-tank. That is a lucky AMX-30 there. The arrow rifles ran out of ammunition. 2 Eyehawks on the field now. And 2 Cobras coming in as well. This is strong from Heckler. He has a good chance of just clearing up the middle here. There's a Pivads, though. That will cause issues. Pivads going for the laser guided bomber, which didn't manage to get the AMX-30. Pivads can't see the Cobras, though. There we go. Can now. Look at it. Tear through that Cobra. And another one arriving for the other Cobra. Very nice. Come on. One of these Cobras has to go down, surely. Oh, both go down. Very nice. Good timing on those Pivads. No command in the middle for Propaganda, though. Laser guided bomber comes in, takes out one of those Pivads. The lack of a command does mean that it's back to +3 for Heckler. Command has entered the bottom, though. As expected, the Abrams has arrived. Will completely cap that point. There's no counter command in there. Currently just +1. And switches over to +1 for Propaganda. Waiting to see another command being driven in for the center there. Rifles arriving there. Those air rifles out of anti-tank, so the rifles managed to get dropped off pretty easily. M1A1 Abrams Command. Is that going to come straight for this back point? It's being pushed up to here, but surely it's going to cross the bridge and go for the back point across the river. Surely it will. Loads of Martyrs coming in here now. Oh, one goes down to the AMX-30. I-Hawk gets a kill on something. Alouette goes down. Laser Guided Bomber comes in. Dropping on the building at the back there. That's 2 Nighthawks. Command tanks got caught up with those infantry. Can that other Nighthawk swing around? No, it's evacing. I wonder if it's had a bomb left, if it could have swung around to kill that command tank. Propaganda looking good at the bottom there, but really needs to retake the centre. He does have the command tank coming in for the centre as well now. Laser Guided Bomber coming in there. Not sure what it was going for. Taking lots of fire. Has got stressed out enough to leave. Another Laser Guided Bomber coming in. Looking for a kill on the pivots perhaps? No. Going for the infantry at the corner. Wanted a piece of the rifles. The rifles do get another shot off on the M1A1. That is very close to death. I hear another jet at the back there, but it's the F-16 Fighting Falcon from Heckler. Goes for a kill on the Gazelle. Doesn't manage to get it, shockingly. That Abrams command tank is going to stroll straight into this point at the moment. Surely Propaganda spotted it. I'm looking for something that can intercept. Hellarm is heading rapidly over that way. Needs to get a move on though, or this point is going to get decapped. I think this point's getting decapped as it stands. Good move from Heckler here. He takes the point. Hellarm should get the kill though, but the point does switch over. +3 to Heckler. Hellarm really struggling to get a shot off at this tank. Command in the centre though. There's the neutralisation. Will only get the neutralisation though, as needs to retake that point completely. Blackhawks randomly being flown over the forest area. Hellarm really struggling here. Does get a shot off now. Yeah. Abrams running away. Will not end well for that tank. Still waiting for another command though. He needs to retake that back point. I'm not sure how many commands he has left. I would assume in a 1v1 deck he will have more than just 2 command tanks and the couple of jeeps. There goes the surrender from Heckler, I believe, there. Yeah, Heckler once again surrendering there. He wasn't in a truly terrible position, though. He'd done very, very well that game. Propaganda, though, slightly ahead in kills, obviously. Let's have a quick look at the kills and losses. More curious, the Laser Guided Bomber got a lot of kills there, the Nighthawks. AMX was doing well in the middle. ACAV did a very good job. The M1A1, that was doing a fantastic job in the position it was in, Heckler. Really well positioned. Abrams did a good job. Laser Guided Bomber's doing a good job at that side as well. Pivad's got loads of kills. Really good shout on the Pivads that game. Really melting those helicopters. Good set of games, guys. Nice, gentle easing into the tournament for everyone. Please stay tuned the rest of the week. We'll definitely be covering more games. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all soon.